Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So it is time for the February 2020 Q&A, where you ask me questions and I answer them by the end of the month. So, we're going to get into this. This will be the only video of the day, of course, but we'll get back to the regular schedule back on Tuesday. But before we get started with the Q&A, I just wanted to say thank you to each and every single last one of you, because the channel has now hit over 1,200 subs, and I could not have done this without any of you. You all are just so very amazing. You're awesome, and I appreciate each and every single last one of you. I appreciate your support. You know, all of you are just simply amazing, and I just wanted to thank you, because without each of you, this channel wouldn't be anything, and, the support you give means just so much to me, and I can't thank you all enough. You all are so very awesome, and I just wanted to thank you, because without you, this would never have been possible. So, thank you all, and I appreciate each and every single last one of you. So let's get to the Q&A now, and how we're going to do this is, first we'll start with the questions on YouTube, and then we'll finish off with the questions on Discord. So, let's begin. So, Yarno RJ, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name there, ask, "Hey Draco, I'm sorry about the issues with relationships. I know it's hard, and sorry about your ex who lied to you, and etc. Even with your friend dating her, I hope you recover from that, and how much personal it got for you even losing a friend." Hey man, thank you very much. I'm doing a lot better than I was then. I mean, that was many, many years ago, but, doesn't mean that it hasn't had lingering effects, if you know what I mean. But I'm doing way better than I was the time that it happened. That was many years ago, but you just have to move forward from things like that when they happen. I mean, it's hard, but it's the best you can do, in situations like that. Also, you forgot my question asking you about Star Wars: The Clone Wars, if you've seen it, and are you ready to see Season 7? Yeah, I am. I haven't gotten around to seeing it, sadly, just because, work and taking up all the time, but yeah, I mean, Clone Wars, I've always enjoyed it, though, as a series. I mean, I feel like the first two seasons kind of seem more, I guess you could say, oriented towards younger audiences, but then it's like it develops a more mature theme as it goes on, and so I'm really ready to see Season 7, and it's supposed to be focused upon the end of the Clone Wars with Order 66, so I'm pretty excited for that. I'm pretty excited to see it. And hey, we got the question this time, so, at least we didn't miss it this time. AJ Mighty asks, "If you don't mind me asking, what do you do when you aren't making videos?" No need to worry, man. Don't worry. It's all good. No need to worry about asking me a question like that. So what I do is I do graphic design work. I not only that, but I also do doujins. So I have a doujin series that I have rebooted that I'm going to be making, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, art basically, graphic design art as well as drawing art like doujins. So yeah, that's what I do. It's a load of fun. I enjoy it, and I've always loved art. So getting to do my job that I've always wanted, love it. It's great. Do you like Johnny Depp? Oh, of course I do. I mean, Johnny Depp, he's great. I mean, one of the most notable things that anybody has ever seen him in would be Pirates of the Caribbean series. Those are great movies. Too bad Disney's rebooting those. But, Johnny Depp. Yeah, I really like him as an actor. I think he's great, and, he definitely didn't deserve what happened to him because of Amber Heard and all that stupid crap, cancel culture stuff she was trying to pull. Screw her, she's a terrible person. But yeah, Johnny Depp's awesome. Inigo asks, "For February Q&A, do you speak any languages aside from English?" Currently, I don't, but I am learning Japanese because, I do want to go to various different countries, but one that I would really like to go to that I've always wanted to go to is Japan to visit, go like on vacation. So, that's actually a language I've been trying to learn. So, that'd be really great once I get that done and, get enough money to go to Japan. That would be fantastic. And besides, I just love the language. It's beautiful language. I've always been someone to love Japanese culture ever since I was a kid. I've always loved it. But that's just me. But yeah, good question. Elizabeth McGaden asks, "Sorry, I fell asleep. Who do you think would win, Deku or Oscar? Also, thanks for answering my questions." Oh yeah, hey, no problem, no problem. I enjoy answering all your questions. It's always fun. Deku would easily win. Oscar is completely weak in comparison to Deku. I mean, Ruby's universe, especially ever since it was nerfed, it just does not stand up to a lot of other universes. But yeah, Deku would win easily. Ian Kreider asks, question for next Q&A. Who's your best girl or waifu in My Hero Academia? Ho, good question. Oh, I'll get to that in just a second. Let me read the rest of your comment here. Also, I realize I never told you my favorite video game villains. I'll give you some of my personal favorites. Can't say Bowser because we both like him. Yeah, Bowser is good. Omega Zero of Mega Man 03. Yeah, that's a good villain choice. Dahlia Hawthorne of Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulation. That's another very good one. And Virgil of Devil May Cry. Yes, Virgil. I love Virgil, man. Virgil is fantastic as a character. But if I had to say who My Hero Academia waifu is, it would be none other than Mount Lady. Yeah, I really like Mount Lady, or in other words, Yu Takayama. I think that her character is great. I mean, yeah, she's a reoccurring character. You know, we see her every once in a while. But I really enjoy her. I mean, yeah, she definitely has that whole seductive thing going on for certain. And her powers are insanely good. Like, she's got strong powers for certain. But, you know, at the same time, she's definitely a very vain character. I mean, you know, for one, liking to steal the spotlight from other heroes, as we saw within the first few episodes of the series, actually, in fact. But, you know, I definitely do enjoy her. And, you know, the thing is, while she may be someone that is vain, and she may be someone that really is seductive, because gotta say, love the fan service surrounding her. But the thing of it is that she also takes her job very seriously, and she tries to, you know, help out others when she can. So, you know, I have to say, I really like her character, and, you know, Mount Lady, I like her design as well. She looks great, I think, both with her superhero costume as well as her civilian attire. I really like her character. But, you know, fun fact about Mount Lady, by the way. Originally, Mount Lady's quirk was actually going to be Ochako's quirk. And then Horikoshi changed his mind on that one, and then, of course, created the character of Mount Lady. And it's kind of funny because she was originally just going to be a gag character, but Horikoshi really started to like her character, and that's why he started to use her more. So I thought that was interesting. You could say Mount Lady grew on him. I'm terrible. But yeah, Mount Lady, definitely the waifu for me when it comes to Hero Academia. Good question. Mr. DJ Fly High asked, hey Draco, using your glass ball, how do you see the future of Ruby after the recent finale? Oh, Volume 7, in general, I despise that volume. I hate that volume. Like, you know, a lot of people would say Volume 5 is the worst. To me personally, Volume 7 is the worst. I hate the volume. Like, while the animation was definitely better, it's just, I hate it. But, seeing where it may go, considering that the problem with Ruby is they're trying to stretch out 3 series now, and they're obviously trying to rebuild the lore again, which at this point I still think, what's the point in learning the lore if they are just going to redo the whole thing? You know, it's kind of useless at that point. And as much time as I took trying to study the series and the lore itself, it's like it's completely useless to try to study the lore. But the thing of it is, I don't see it having much of a future. That's the problem. You know, Rooster Teeth already is terribly in the decline. Of course, their financial status is not open to the public to view, but it's not good from what I've heard from insiders. So Ruby's future, I mean, it's probably just going to continue to get more political down the line. I mean, and that's just going to destroy it in the end. You know, it's going to be a case of get woke, go broke. That's exactly what's going to happen here. And Ruby, I guarantee you, there's going to be more politics being shoved into the series. I mean, Volume 7, they didn't even try to hide their woke agenda. So, Volume 8, if they get to that point, which they will, I bet, but they probably won't make it to a 9, yeah, it's not going to last much longer, if I had to say, due to what happened. I mean, if any of you know the Star Trek reference, it's dead, Jim. That's basically what Volume 8's going to be on arrival. It's just going to be dead. It's dead, Jim. It's dead on arrival, basically. And, it's sad to see it. Ruby has gone so far downhill. The writers clearly don't care about the franchise. They just want to spew their politics. And 2 more writers didn't help anything. I mean, clearly this proves that point. It didn't make a difference. It just made it worse, I think. And, the animation, I think, is just going to get worse. Because, the animators are going to have to work on Genlock. They got that Transformer series they're doing, which, my God, who would want to partner with Rooster Teeth? Like, what was Hasbro thinking? I'm just wanting to ask that question. But, with Ruby, Volume 8's going to happen, but I feel like it's just going to be dead on arrival. I just feel like it's just going to have more politics infused into it, and then I think by the time they try to get to a Volume 9, it's all going to be pretty much downhill for Rooster Teeth at that point going forward. That's my thoughts on it. But yeah, very good question. Christopher Capers Jones asks, I am so sorry if that got too personal. Hey man, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. No problem, man. No problem. I can honestly relate to losing a friend and being unable to trust girls for a long while, which is what I'm taking personal days for. Well, hey man, I'm very sorry that happened to you, and always stay strong. Always be strong, and the best thing you can do is take time to recover, and do your best to make it, man. Don't let these terrible things get you down in life. Always try to look on the positive side, and do the best you can. Always keep that in mind. Always do what you can, man. For an easier time in the next Q&A, my next question is this. What are your thoughts on RWBY Volume 7, and what do you wish they had done? Volume 7, I think, is a complete trash fire. The volume itself, whether people like it or not, I think personally the volume was just a complete trash fire. I mean, the politics, it didn't do anything for the world of RWBY. It didn't do a single thing. In fact, it just felt like filler, and this could have been a way for them to expand upon Atlas and Mantle. They could have actually had the plot be about Weiss and her family, because it screwed Weiss's plot line entirely. They built up Weiss's plot for it literally to just be thrown away for politics, which is stupid. I mean, that's one of the worst mistakes I think the writers have ever made. I mean, even Volume 5 established more on Weiss's character with her conversation with Yang rather than what Volume 7 did. It didn't do anything for Weiss. Didn't even develop her character. Faunus discrimination could have been the entire plot. Adam dying in 6 was a mistake. He certainly should have lived, had a backstory. I mean, he could have even had redemption. But of course, the writers don't care about that. They don't know what storytelling is, and they don't care about it. So, that's completely on them. I mean, there's just so many things, which I'm going to get into a video in the near future about what I think could have actually been done better. But yeah, very good question, man. Floof goes on to ask, because now we're on the Discord questions. Floof asks, 1, what are your thoughts on this shitty first draft? I even left out that Fenrir fears death and didn't bother writing that down, LMAO. I don't know what you really want me to say in terms of like the plot, like when it comes to spoiler territory, so I'm not going to spoil anything for people that are watching this, but I'm going to say that I think in terms of your characters, you have certainly established characteristics. I really have to say that you did really good with that. And what was it? You told me, I think it was, that this draft, you wrote it within a day, I think it was, or something like that, if I remember right. And that was really good for just a day in terms of it. So I think that you did good for a start, for certain. But yeah, I mean, you established your character so far. You've established personalities, and I really do like that. And I think you've done good for a start. And this leads on to your second question: how does it compare to RWBY? It's great in comparison to RWBY. Like, this is let's put it like this: you take RWBY, and then you take what you've written, and this is the draft that you've written, so that means improvements as time goes on. But what you have right now, and mind you, it's a draft. This is a masterpiece in comparison to what RWBY has. I mean, you have structure. RWBY doesn't. Like, you know what you want to do, and you know where you're going with it. RWBY just comes up with something on the fly, and retcons everything. And you have consistently, so far with the draft, kept up with things. Like, I mean, it's amazing in comparison to what RWBY is. Like, you're doing great. You're doing great as a writer, and I commend you. You're doing very good. I think that for a start with your draft, you've done well, and I cannot wait to see what you improve upon, and I cannot wait to see where you go with this, because I think that you've got a lot of potential going for it. I really enjoy it, and I think it's good, man. If I were to release comic pages, how often would you prefer me to post them, weekly or bi-weekly? I mean, weekly wouldn't be bad if you have the time to be able to do that. If you need to take a little more time and do it within monthly amounts, that wouldn't hurt either. So that wouldn't be bad either. That's totally up to how you want to do it. But yeah, weekly wouldn't hurt, I don't think. If you feel like you need more time and an extension, then go monthly. But I think that yeah, I mean, weekly sounds nice if you can do it, if you have the time for it, man, definitely. Because I mean, I think you got something really good going for you, and I'd like to see what you do with this, man. I'm excited for it. Like, it'll be great, and I can't wait for other people to see it as well. What was your favorite part of the Utena series without majority spoiling it for the audience? Good God, there's so many things I love about Utena. I mean, Akio's great. I mean, man, he's so good. He's such a slime ball of a villain, but he's so good. I mean, Sayonji, Sayonji's great too, man. Toga. You have Himimiya. Himimiya is great. Her character's fantastic. Utena's character's fantastic. I love a lot of the Juri moments. I don't know. Juri was fantastic. I love Juri. Her character's great. Juri Shiori and Ruka, man. That was so good. That one was good. I love the curry episode, man. That's probably like curry. The curry episode was fantastic, and just episode. I think it was 34. That episode. That episode, like, oh man, that was beautiful. I mean, man, that scene in 34. Like towards the end of the episode, dude. Oh man, that actually brought tears to my eyes, and that's not something common for me to have happen. But that was just bravo. That was just too good, man. I'd say probably 34, man. 34 might be that, or the final two episodes are probably the best moments though, because they're, good God, they're so good. Favorite constellation in the night sky for each season: spring, summer, fall, and winter. So for spring, I would say my favorites would be between Leo, Cancer, and the Hydra. I would say they would probably be my three favorites for spring. Um, Ultimately, my favorite though might be the Hydra. But yeah, so that would be Hydra for spring. My favorite when it comes to summer would be the Aquila. That one looks really cool. I mean, to me, it looks like a ship. I kind of like that one. So summer would be Aquila. The fall constellation, I do like Andromeda. I think Andromeda just looks really beautiful. I like Andromeda. And I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's a really, really cool look for a constellation. And then, of course, for winter, it's really not hard for me to say because I like Orion the most. Orion just looks really cool. And, I remember whenever I was a kid learning about Orion. I mean, that just was so awesome. So my favorite winter constellation is definitely Orion. What are your thoughts on Premonix from Arknight's design? She's like pure diabetes. If I had to say, looking at her design, the base design itself, it looks kind of cool. It's kind of like she's a hunter out in the Arctic in a sense, and I kind of like it. It looks pretty nice, and she's certainly got the fluffy ears and that fluffy tail, all the fluff. But yeah, no, I actually think her design looks pretty nice. Actually, I don't think it looks that bad, but that's just me. Favorite Thai food? Oh, that's a good question because there's so many good ones. Like Gang Dang red curry. Oh, so good. I love that. I also really like the Pad Krapao Moo Saep. Sorry, I think I butchered that, but that's the fried basil and pork. Oh, it's so good too. I don't know. I probably have to go with the Gang Dang red curry. I really love it. Oh, Thai food's so good. I don't know. That's probably my favorite though. Is the red curry. Oh man, so good. Allies87 ask, Goblin Slayer or Demon Slayer? I gotta go with Goblin Slayer. I like Demon Slayer. I think it's good. Nezuko is cute, but like, in terms of like story, I really like Goblin Slayer. Like Goblin Slayer is just so good. It's oh man, that's a fun series. It really is. But that's just my opinion. And then, of course, Falskirm Jaeger asks for February Q&A in no particular order. Who are your top 10 waifus? Multiple girls from the same series are allowed. Oh boy. Now, I'm not going to answer these in any particular order, but yeah. So I guess one of them would definitely have to be Lucamine from Pokemon. Like, when I saw her design within the trailer that they released for Sun and Moon all the way back in 2017, I think it was like about mid 2017. I just loved her design, and of course, the storyline around her, Lily, and Gladian, I really liked it. I know a lot of people really give Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon a lot of flack for stepping out of their comfort zone. But I think that what they did was good because they actually tackled issues that were more on a personal level, and it really gave characters development. Like it actually gave characters characteristics and development. And I think with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the way that they treated Lusamine in the end with her development, because she really developed at the end of the game. Because my biggest problem with Sun and Moon was that it just felt like those games just didn't have a resolved ending. With Lily or Lusamine, as to where Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon really felt like there was an ending that was resolved there. And I just love Lusamine's character. Not only that, but in the anime, when they had her in that bikini, oh, Lusamine, you know how to rock it. Oh, man. Talk about a good waifu right there. That's a good waifu right there. I mean, she looked great. Another one I would have to say from Pokemon, I got to throw another one out there, is Cynthia. Cynthia's my number one for sure in Pokemon. I love Cynthia's character. Man, I mean, she has all the power. I mean, she's that champion that's the hardest champion out there. Like, I mean, anybody could say that, oh man, you had characters like, Lance or Gary or, whoever, but Cynthia had the best team by far. She had, which Garchomp is one of the most overpowered Pokemon in Pokemon's history, but like, which Garchomp's also like one of my favorite Pokemon ever. So, Cynthia having power behind her was just fantastic. It made her the most challenging champion, I'd say, in Pokemon history. But not only does she have power behind her, but she has elegance. She has beauty, which is fantastic. And I just love her character in the anime. I loved her character in the manga, in the games. I love Cynthia's character, and the one thing that's interesting about her was back in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum when she actually states that she remembers starting off with the Pokedex as well. So her journey is very similar to the player characters if you think about it, which I thought that was really cool too. But yeah, she is a wonderful waifu. C2 from Code Geass, CC, C2, whatever you want to call her. I love her character. Like, she is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, Colin was great, but I feel like, C2 really carried it. I feel like her character was fantastic, and, her backstory was so sad about, how when she acquired the Geass, she just wanted people to love her. And, even though despite the fact that she said she wanted to die, she just really actually wanted to be loved in the end. It's just so sad what she had to go through. And, I just love her character. I mean, she was fantastic, and I love the banter that her and Lelouch has about how he would like call her a witch. It's just pretty funny. But, her character was brilliant, and, in terms of, the many good female characters that they actually had within Code Geass, because there was a lot of waifu material in that series. I have to say that C2 definitely, takes the cake for me. She is definitely number one in Code Geass for me, and, I love her character overall as a whole. She is absolutely fantastic. Another one I would have to say, which would be Fairy Tail's Erza. I love Erza. Like, if you know me, I am a big Erza fan. Always have been. Her and Natsu are my two favorite characters in all of Fairy Tail. So, of course, leave it to Erza to be a character that I just simply adore. And, she has two things going for her. One, she has elegance and beauty. I mean, she really does. She has a lot of style. Hiramashima good at making stylish female characters. I'll give him that. I mean, he's good at just making stylish characters in general. But, like, when it comes to, Erza, for example, he really did well with her. I really liked her character in her own arc, which was the Tower of Heaven arc based around her. That was a very good arc, I think. And, besides Erza having beauty, she has strength behind her. She is, a very powerful character. And, every single time you see Erza, something badass is going to happen. I mean, Erza is just fantastic. And, I really enjoyed her growth as a character over time. And, like I said, I just think that she was fantastic. And, she just has that power and beauty that just is something I really love. But since we're still talking about something Hiramashima created, his very first series he made, which was Rave, I love Ellie. Ellie is such a fantastic character that I loved Ellie almost immediately. I mean, like, I love her airheaded moments. I love her outgoing personality. I mean, Ellie is just great. And, her whole entire character arc, because, the big thing about her was not only was she a fun character, because she had some of the funniest moments in the series. I think it was her and Plu that probably had two of the funniest, moments in the entire series as a whole. But like, when it came down to it, while she had this, fun, outgoing personality, airheaded moments, the thing is, she always beat herself up also because she felt like she wasn't strong. She felt like she was a hindrance for a good portion of Rave until she finally beat her first villain, and it was actually quite sad for her. Her backstory as well, considering that, she was trying to find her own identity, having the ELIE engraved into her arm, which was Ellie, to reference to something, but I can't say what it is because it spoils it. But, oh man, it's so sad. And, of course, the big plot twist of who she actually is, and her connection to Risha Valentine, it's insane. It was such a good plot twist. Like, I think that Rave is still the best thing that Hero ever wrote. Honestly, I love it. Rave is one of my all-time favorite fictional series I've ever seen. And, I always have a blast rereading that series. It's just so good. And another thing that I really liked was whenever he had the crossover for the first time, because, he had a Eden Zero crossover with Rave and Fairy Tail as well, but the first crossover he ever did, which was Fairy Tail and Rave, Fairy Tail X Rave, when his art evolved over the years, of course, to the style that a lot of people know it as now. I really liked Ellie's whole redesign. I like how she looks because she looks so fantastic, and I just love the banter between her and Lucy, as well as seeing Haru and Natsu just kind of have banter amongst one another. But like, I loved how he just knew his own characters. I mean, that's the thing. After so many years of working on Fairy Tail, whenever he did this crossover, the characters still felt the same. Ellie was still the same as she was, and had her lovable, goofy, airheaded personality, and I loved it. Ellie's one of my favorite girls ever. And Mordred, I gotta give it to Mordred and Fate. Mordred is best girl. Many people have a lot of different picks for Fate, but Mordred is most certainly mine. Like, I love Mordred. How she wants to be king, of course, that's another thing. I just enjoy it. And then people are like, "Oh no, your leadership skills would be bad," But I have to say that Mordred's character growth was really good. And, she's called the Red Berserker for a reason. I mean, every moment that you see Mordred, something's going to go down. You know that you're going to see an awesome and epic fight from Mordred. But aside from that, her personality's great. I love her character design as well. I mean, each design that she has, she is good. And, of course, you want to talk about the fan service for Mordred. Yeah, she's got the fan service. But the thing of it is that this is a strong, independent female character also. Like, you want to talk about someone who is a strong, independent female character. Mordred is definitely one of those. And I really enjoy Mordred as a character. I just love her. Many people have their own favorites in Fate, but Mordred is most certainly mine. Now, of course, when it comes to waifu material, also, Steins Gate, man. I gotta go with Kurisu. I love her character. One trope I really do like is I do like tsunderes and I like yanderes, right, in anime. And so I did like the characteristics of Kurisu, her being a tsundere, but she has some of the most adorable moments, I think, in the series, even without having to try. She's just an adorable character. And, her and Okabe and their whole fights and stuff, man, it's a fun time. It's really good. And, of course, Okabe trying to fight to make sure she stays alive by the end of the series. I mean, it's just so good. I love Steins Gate. It's one of my all-time favorite anime ever made. Like, God, I love it. And her adorable moments of whenever she's flustered, because, flustered tsuneres, in my opinion, they're cute. But, yeah, she has many of those, and they are absolutely adorable. But, yeah, Kurisu, yeah, she's fantastic. Another one I have to say is Esdeath from Akame ga Kill. I really love Esdeath. I mean, she is a powerful character, and, she was one of the hardest, definitely, to beat for the cast. I mean, looking at Esdeath, how she was definitely made as a main boss character. Yeah, she has good reason to be. I mean, with her Imperial arms being able to freeze things, and then of course her trump card basically stopping time and space, like that was crazy. I mean, Esdeath is a very powerful character. And that's one of the things that I really loved about her. I loved her ideology as well about how the strong live and the weak die. Now that was a very interesting ideology that she had. Now the thing about that ideology is that when you look at how she was raised, her father taught her to be strong. And of course, when she came back and found out that her entire tribe had been killed off, it didn't really bother her that much because she was taught that the weak are going to die and the strong are going to live. And so she lived by that. Thing of it is, though, she still was conflicted upon that ideology because later on she would, of course, care for those that followed her, and if they died, thing of it was, she would be like, oh, well, it's a pity that they died, but they were weak, so they deserve to go. But it's like she was so conflicted whenever they would die, because then, she seemed to be thinking, that it didn't seem right, but at the same time, to her, it was right. So she had conflictions with her own thoughts there, which I like that. But while Esdeath was a very powerful character and had a very interesting ideology, she also had very adorable moments, because I love how, while she was someone to definitely bring down the enemies for the capital, thing of it was, I love whenever she talked about how she wanted to finally settle down and find a man, which is Takumi, but the interactions between her and him, they were hilarious, and how she was a yandere and how she would take down anybody just to, keep him. It was pretty funny. And the moments that she had with Takumi, like, I love those moments there. They're absolutely hilarious. They're some of the best. But you want to talk about a lovable antagonist. I really feel like Esdeath is one of those characters. Like, I could not help but just love seeing her every time she would appear. I love the moments with Esdeath and Akame ga Kill. Another one, since we're still looking at series, Nintendo knows how to make waifus. I'm gonna tell you right now, Nintendo's good at it, because Lindis from Fire Emblem, the Game Boy Advance game, good God, Lindis, I always enjoyed her character. I mean, she was definitely a good unit. Not only that, but at least in my opinion, she was a good unit. But not only that, but when it comes to her tribe, in the whole storyline with that, I really enjoyed that plot line for her character. And then, of course, I just really liked the plot of that game. It was pretty fun. I mean, yeah, there are issues with Fire Emblem games from time to time, but if there's one thing that Fire Emblem knows how to do, as I stated, like Nintendo in general just knows how to do, is they know how to create good waifus. Like, I mean, if you look at Fire Emblem Heroes, right? And they always have, different events for different seasons and whatnot. Whenever they come out with a new banner, sometimes they'll have, like, alternate costumes, right? Now, Lindis, I think, has one of the best alternate costumes, because I really did like her swimsuit. Like, I mean, the bikini looked nice. I mean, talk about the appeal. Like I said, this is waifu material right here, ladies and gentlemen. They knew what they were doing. Now, Camilla is another one from Fire Emblem that I just love to death. Whenever I was playing through Fates, one of the times I played multiple times, I just could not help but like marry her more than once in the game, because you can have skinships and stuff like that. And I have to say that Camilla's character, she's a yandere, and I love her interactions with Corrin, because she would never let anyone separate her from Corrin, and it's pretty hilarious. But I do enjoy it, and I mean, some of the things that she says also were a bit like, oh wow, definitely yandere things to say, but she has a good motherly personality too, which I thought was pretty cool. Camilla, definitely good, and Heroes, oh yeah, they definitely gave her fan service. That was nice. And then of course Lucina. Lucina's got to be the number one when it comes to Fire Emblem waifus for certain to me. I mean, good lord. Every time I played Awakening, even on my first playthrough, that was the character I had a skinship with each and every time. I don't know. I love her character to death. Lucina has just always been one I've enjoyed. I mean, when she was in Smash, I mained her actually. And when I went into online competitions, I had a lot of fun with that. I mean, Lucina was exceptionally good in Ultimate when it came out, before they started handing out nerfs, of course, but like, they did really good with Lucina's character. Her character arc in Awakening, I think, is just glorious. I mean, Awakening, then again, I give a lot of praise to that game because I just love it to death. Then again, it's also the game that saved Fire Emblem as a franchise, because that was actually going to be the original final game. But yeah, Lucina, the symbolism of the butterfly as well, supposed to be like seeking the future. I thought that was really cool. that's why she wore the butterfly mask as well, to conceal her identity, but to also represent that, there could always be a future, right? Which I thought that was really cool. But then again, Lucina, what I also liked about her character was her very childish like personality she had sometimes. I mean, yeah, she can be very mature, and she's a very responsible character, but the thing is, she has childish moments. Like, for example, if you have Crom marry Subia and the daughter is Cynthia, her and Cynthia have an interaction with one another to where the Falchion is actually used to try to kill a fly. And it's actually kind of hilarious that the two sisters kind of get into that. But like, I love the event they had for Heroes with her actually being dressed up like in an Easter outfit, because oh boy, you wanna talk about the fan service. Lucina brings it. It's just, oh boy, beautiful woman, beautiful character. Like, I love her both as a character, and I just love her design. Just Lucina, fantastic. You done right with her, Nintendo. And then, of course, we cannot forget another waifu that everybody knows, because I love the Ice Cream Queen. Let's be real, I love Neo. I mean, Neo has been a character that I've loved ever since her introduction. And her very first fight, yeah, that sealed the deal for me on how I loved her character to death. I mean, she is Monty's rule of cool, and of course she got nerfed, but yeah, that by a damn farm boy, just punched in the face by a damn farm boy. Like, I'm not gonna get into that, but like, thing of it is that with Neo, her first fight with Yang, she beat her with ease. Neo didn't even have to try, and she just mollywopped Yang like there was no tomorrow. I mean, like, it was great. That was a glorious fight, and in my opinion, definitely one of the best in all of RWBY. Because I love the Neo versus Yang fight, because Neo just completely demolishes Yang. I mean, Yang couldn't even get one hit on Neo. It was fantastic. And I love how, Neo just easily beats her. It's a glorious fight. And, that's the thing. I just love going back on that fight, man. Especially now that Yang's a even worse character than she was back then. But, yeah. I mean, I love watching Neo just completely demolish Yang. It was such a good fight. It was definitely good for her first appearance. And, I think that solidified the power gap between Neo and Yang. And, that fight, I love that fight. I mean, Monty did so well with that fight. He animated that fight, and oh, so much passion into that. He had so much passion. And Neo as a character, like I said, she is his rule of cool. And, I love Neo. And Neo versus RWBY was so good, too. I mean, yeah, of course, Neo gets flown off the edge of the cruiser because her umbrella opens up. But, like, RWBY couldn't even touch her either. I mean, she completely just beat down RWBY as well. Neo is just such a good character. At least, well, in terms of fighting, well, before the nerf, but Neo's still good. I still love Neo. And do I hate what the writers did to her in Volume 7? Oh, of course I do. I mean, we all know that's bullshit. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. But, that's the thing. Neo is the love, man. Like, she is the best, in terms of RWBY, at least, in my opinion. I love her character, man. And, the writers tried to screw her over. At least she still won the fight. But, man, they still nerfed her, and the damage was done. But I still love Neo regardless. Neo is best girl in RWBY to me. But that's all for the questions for this month's Q&A. So if you have any questions you would like to ask me for next month's Q&A, just leave them in the description down below, and I will answer them at the end of the month. If there were any questions that I, by chance, missed, please let me know, and I will answer them next month, as I always do. I always try to answer any questions I may have potentially missed, so if I did, I apologize. So be sure to let me know if I missed any, and I will get them next month for certain. But anyways, also, I will be back again on Tuesday, so that's when the next video will be up. I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.